All right. So who's starting off? Who's got questions that I can answer for you? What's going on?
Hey, Sean.
Yeah, what's going on?
Hey, I just got an email back from the realtor, and they sent me the mortgage statement.
Okay.
So I just need help with this. It looks to be a hybrid, but I'm not sure. Um,
Okay. Yeah. You want to
so
underwrite the deal?
yes, please.
Sure. What was the asking price or the purchase price?
What what's on like
Per
what's
deal
the
sniper.
market? Oh, okay. Purchase price is 130.
Okay. 130K. And what's the mortgage balance?
The mortgage balance, okay, so
70,000.
70,061, yeah, 61 and
So
84 cents.
$60,000 difference. It'll probably end up being a hybrid. Okay.
Yeah,
So sorry, the mortgage balance you said was 67,000?
70.
Oh, 70.
Outstanding principal balance is $70,061.84.
Gotcha. And what is the monthly mortgage payment?
The monthly mortgage payment is $587.32.
Okay. And what is the interest rate?
5.976.
Okay. And what are we giving them as a seller financed amount? I'm sorry, as a down payment. Down payment.
Steel Sniper said 9,000.
$9,000. Okay. So if we want to figure out what the seller financed amount is, then we're going to take the mortgage. I'm sorry, not the mortgage, the asking price, which is 130,000. We're going to subtract the $70,000 for the mortgage balance, and then we're going to subtract the down payment, which is $9,000. So that means that they are seller financing, for anyone else following along, $51,000. What will the property rent for?
Deal Sniper says 990.
So about $1,000.
Yes.
Okay. And what are the taxes and the insurance?
Let's see. Deal Sniper. Let's see here.
Oh, you know what? I don't need the taxes and insurance because
Okay.
this is a hybrid.
152. Yeah. Escrow, taxes, and insurance on here says 152. Okay.
All right. So unfortunately for this deal, you're already at 11.7 cash on cash return. And this not including a seller finance payment. So much so that even if I put $100 a month to the seller, that kills the deal.
Mm,
So 50, yeah, 50 wouldn't work. It's what, $35? Yeah. So unfortunately for this one, hold on a second because I have a realtor commission somewhere that shouldn't be calculating. Okay. So can I do 100 now? Do I took that out? No. $50? 75. Yeah. So, I mean, in all honesty, unfortunately for this deal, because it's the rent. The rent is what's killing the deal because it won't rent for more. It's not giving you any room to allow any kind of cash flow for the property.
oh, I see.
So unfortunately, now don't get me wrong, you can try and sell this to a homestead buyer, and I can show you how to do that if you want to try and lock it up. You might be able to. What city is this in? Let's start there.
Memphis.
Is the property in good shape?
Yes.
I'll tell you what, you can lock it up and I can show you, or I'll send you a video that I did on how to dispo the deal yourself to try and find a homestead buyer. It's worth a shot. It's absolutely worth a shot.
Okay. And they said that the seller also wanted to inform me that I can retain the 5.976 interest rate if I choose to assume the mortgage or proceed with an 8% interest rate if you prefer seller financing.
We wouldn't do either. So what we would do would be a hybrid. So you would let the real estate agent know what we're thinking about doing is doing a hybrid, where we will subject to the mortgage and then make monthly payments to the seller on the other $51,000 equity that they want. The only thing that I would do is I'd probably kick this up to about $500. So the offer to the seller would be $130,000 purchase price, $9,000 down. We will subject to the mortgage, meaning we will have our buyer pay that mortgage payment for them. And then in addition to that, we give them $500 a month.
500 a month. Okay.
Now just let them know, set the proper expectation. This deal doesn't cash flow. So the only person you're going to try and be able to sell this to would be a homestead buyer. So tell them to give you 2 weeks. You'll try and find a buyer. If not, the contract will cancel.
Okay.
Okay.
All righty. And okay, should I get that video or are you? I'll just
Which video?
about the homestead thing you were telling me just
yeah.
now.
Do me a favor, DM me once this meeting is over and I'll send it right over.
Okay, great. Thanks, Sean.
You're very welcome.
All right.
I don't remember who had their hand up first, if it was Amber or DeMarcus, but it's ladies first in this Discord. So what's up, Amber? And then DeMarcus, I'll get to you in a second. Amber, you're muted. Oh, there you go.
I do that every time, every freaking time. Hey, so I have an example. Let's say, I guess I'm going to need to underwrite it, of course. This is just going to be regular seller finance.
Well, we can underwrite it right now if you want to, if you need help.
Yes, please. And this was when I first started, so I kind of made a mistake, but I want to make sure it's not an actual mistake.
All right. What's the purchase price?
So the purchase price, being honest, Deal Sniper gave me $317,900, which would be $318, correct?
Yep.
But I said $320. I changed it to $320.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool.
That's no big deal. What's the seller finance amount? Well, what's the down payment?
Down payment is $22K.
Okay, so $22,000 for the down payment. So this is what, $298?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. And then what is the rent?
Rent is $1,800.
Nice. All right. And what are the taxes and the insurance?
Taxes is $33.13. I know.
Okay.
It's
And
a
what
great
is it?
area though.
All right, fair enough. What's the insurance?
$1,214.
Okay. And then what is Deal Sniper saying we should give them monthly?
$800.
Okay. So you're at 11% cash on cash return. You got an 11.7 entry fee percentage. This looks like a pretty decent deal.
It still works. Okay, cool.
Yeah, still works.
Now, for the same deal, the realtor asked, let me give you the exact word. She said, do you have your credibility information / credit screening? And I assumed that meant like proof of funds.
What she's asking is, so do they know that you're trying to seller finance the deal?
I mean, she has to because I sent her the offer.
So does she know that you're wholesaling the deal?
I told her that afterwards.
Okay,
So,
what was her response to that?
You know, I got crickets, nothing yet. This was around 2:30 Eastern time, so about 2 hours ago.
Gotcha. Okay, I mean, I would wait until tomorrow.
Okay.
I wouldn't push it too much. And realtors could be busy; they want to have their own personal time. So I'd wait until tomorrow and then follow up and say, "Hey, does this work or does this not work? I just need to know, what I'm doing."
So what was she actually asking though?
It sounds like she's asking if you have your financing set up or if you have a lender approval letter that you can send her showing that you're qualified to buy the house.
Okay, so once I say I'm a wholesaler, I work with about 9 different investors and, blah, 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 that should kind of smooth things over. Right.
It should if they're okay with working with wholesalers. If they're not okay with working with wholesalers, then they may just be ghosting you. And
Okay.
you won't know that for sure until you follow up with them tomorrow.
Check in again. Okay. I'm
Yeah.
cool with that. Thank you.
Not a problem. DeMarcus, what's up?
All right, man. Can you hear me, Sean?
I can hear you.
All right. All right. I'm new to this, so I possibly may have a subject to property or a deal. I just
Nice.
don't know how to underwrite it or anything like that.
Okay.
I don't know if I asked the right questions to get all the information that I needed, but I talked to what I thought was the realtor, but it turns out it is the realtor, but she's wholesaling it. So should I continue pursuing the deal and doing the underwriting, or is that pretty much wasting my time?
That depends on what they are asking for the property. So what are they asking for the property?
Well, I talked to you a little bit yesterday through the Discord and whatnot about the $30,000 solar panel deal.
Right.
So they got that. So it's sitting at $178 a month. We haven't discussed the down payment yet. She said she just want to put a little bit of change in the lady's pocket. I was thinking about possibly JVing with her, seeing if that's an option for me. But
Well, do you have buyers that'll take it down?
I don't have any buyers. I'm new. Like I said, I'm new to this.
Yeah, you only want to offer to JV with someone if you have buyers that can, you know what I mean, that can take the deal down.
Okay. Hello.
Do you want to look at the deal?
Yeah, if I have the right information, I hope I do.
Okay.
So
All right.
I got
It sounds a little bit like a daisy chain, but let's run it. What is the mortgage balance?
the mortgage balance $230, $597.76.
Okay. What is the mortgage payment?
The mortgage payment $2,268.34.
Okay. What's the interest rate?
Interest rate is 4.7375.
All right. And then what are we giving the cash to seller? The down payment.
That we didn't discuss.
All right. Well, the most we can give is $23,000, so we'll start there. And
Okay.
what will the place rent for?
I looked up on Rent Estimator. It said about $1,983. Or sorry, $1,983.
All right. So about $2,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So unfortunately, this deal doesn't cash flow.
Okay.
And I can tell you that now just from looking before I even go to the other screen. And for anyone that doesn't understand how I know that, it's because the property costs $2,200 a month to operate just for the rent or the mortgage. And it's only going to be bringing in $2,000 a month. So it's going to be negative $200 cash flow at least. And that's before we calculate the war chest and all of the other expenses. So let's take a look at it. And you said the rent was the mortgage was 2,200,
Yes.
and it was at what's the interest rate?
4.375.
So as you can see, this has a negative $4,800 a year cash flow. So it would cost our investor about $4,800 a year to own this property.
Okay.
So that's not going to work.
Gotcha. Well, I appreciate it so much. Thank you, sir.
Not a problem. My pleasure. All right. Does anyone else have a question that they need me to go over? Larry, what's up?
Hey, Sean, how you doing? I got a
Fantastic.
deal
I
here,
love the stuff.
and I am just trying. Like I said, I just did this today, so I just got a guy, and he just called me. As a matter of fact, so basically, he's got a 3-family in Newark, New Jersey. He actually has 2 of them, and he's looking to do. But I don't think the numbers work. He has one rented all out, right? But the Section 8 is like $900 or more. Actually, it's a lot more than what he's actually getting. So I just want to see what type of deal this would be, and if the numbers mismatch like I see them, because I just want to make sure I'm not I'm not doing the right thing. I don't want to waste anyone's time.
No, not a problem. So I will say this, that anytime you're dealing with Deal Sniper is an amazing tool. But this part, the Section 8 and the long-term rental aren't 100% dialed in yet. So
Right.
it's still a work in progress.
Okay.
So anytime you want to make sure a deal works, use the deal machine calculator. So let's go through it right now. Is there a mortgage on the property, or is this just a seller
There is.
finance?
There's two big mortgages. Well, we'll do one. We'll just do the one.
Okay.
The one that's rented out. 615 is the mortgage.
15,000?
615.
Oh, 615,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What are they selling the property for? What did you offer them? Or what are they asking?
Well, they were asking 580. I got them down to 560. We haven't even. Yeah, 560 is what the 660.
Okay, so they're asking 660,000.
Yep.
Okay. So if we subtract the mortgage balance and just sub to this thing, we can just do a $45,000 down payment. So this isn't even a hybrid. This would be a subject to. So 615,000. What's the monthly payment? Principal, interest, taxes,
5315.
insurance.
5315.
All right. And what's the interest rate?
He's got 7%.
Okay. And then, I mean, shit, he wants 45 grand. We can give him 45 grand. What'll it rent for?
Currently, this one's renting out for hang on. 6,100.
Okay. Do you know what the market rent is, or is it close to that?
It's actually a little higher. It's a few. Like I say, the Section 8, I believe, will get these things will probably get 27, 28 easily. There's the 2 bedrooms, the 1 bedrooms will get 22, the 3 bedrooms will get like 27, 28. But
So what do you think it'll rent for, based off Section 8? We'll go off.
you know what? I don't deal with Section 8, but I would say at minimum 26. You probably get 26, and probably 2. So you're probably looking at. I would think.
66.
Yeah, I'd even go 68. Actually, I would probably go 68.
You know what? Let's go 65.
Okay.
Just leave ourselves a little bit of room. We'll go from there. So if we go to sub 2, you said this is 5315 or 5300. Is there an HOA that we have to worry about?
No.
I mean, the deal definitely doesn't cash flow enough to make it an investment deal in that regard. However, yeah, it's that PITI at 7%. That's killing the deal.
Yeah.
Your entry fee percentage is spot on, but your cash on cash return, it's 4%. It's damn near non-existent.
Now, let me ask you a question there. So I see there you got the mortgage is 615, and you said 45 to the seller.
Yeah, because if they're selling the property for $660,000 and they sold it traditionally, but they have a $615,000 mortgage, that means that if they sold this property on market after the mortgage is paid, not including realtor commissions, they'd only be walking away with 45 grand. So he's looking to walk away with $45,000 in equity. I mean, this number, I can go up to 10% of that number, which would be 60 grand. But I don't want to do that in this case because the deal already doesn't cash flow. If I go up any higher, then it's really, really not going to cash flow. So
you're talking about a down payment of 45.
Yeah, because we're just subject to the mortgage. So we don't have to do traditionally. We just give him 45,000, the seller. He'll walk away, and then our investor will just pay the monthly mortgage payment every single month.
What if we drop that?
What?
What if we drop the down payment?
I mean, we can, but I don't think we're going to be able to get up 6%. I mean, even if I dropped it to $10,000 and then check out sub 2, yeah, even then we're only at 8.36. We need to be at a minimum of 10, and 10 is bottom of the barrel.
So 10 wouldn't work.
No, 10 would work in order for us to push it, but that's like bottom of the barrel. That's our minimum that we'll take to push the deal.
All right. So let me ask you one more question while we're on the subject.
Sure.
What was the difference between the hybrid? Now, the hybrid is what? When you have a low mortgage and a high equity?
Yeah, the hybrid is when you have a lot of equity in your property. So for example, let's say he's selling the property for 660, but his mortgage was only 400,000. So the difference between what he would make, his equity and his mortgage, is $215,000. That's way more than we could give them for the down payment for them to walk away. So then we would structure it as a hybrid, where we would do the $660,000 purchase price, cover the $400,000 mortgage monthly, and then also pay the seller monthly to start paying off and chipping away at that equity of $215,000.
All righty.
Does that make sense?
It does. It's just like you say, everything's pretty new here. So that's the hybrid. So we would do a sub 2. All righty. Well, thank you. I'll just give him the bad news for all of us.
Yeah, I mean, this would have been a killer deal at the $45,000 down. I mean, what city is it in?
Newark. It's you can do Airbnb. It's right near the airport.
Have you run the short-term rental numbers yet, like through Airbnb?
No. Just honestly, this came to me, and I had a pretty busy day for the first day of doing this. So, this guy kept calling me because he says the seller's finally interested. But yeah.
Let's see. Technically, even though I did go up on quite a few of the numbers and maxed everything out, this does work as a short term. Hold on, I have the numbers messed up. Let me put this back to 45,000.
So when you're doing the sub 2 numbers, you don't really put the purchase price in. You just put the mortgage in what they need.
Yeah, because there's no purchase price. Like how do I want to word this? So they're asking 660, but they have a mortgage of 615. So again, when everything is said and done, not including closing costs, they'd only walk away with 45,000. Well, if I can give them $45,000 cash and then we just keep the mortgage in place, they still get the exact same thing. Only difference is we can cover the closing costs, we can cover part of the realtor commissions, and we can still make the deal work. So it'll be saving them money in the long run, and they're getting more than if they were to sell it traditionally. So yeah, we're just taking care of the mortgage balance on a subject 2. The mortgage balance becomes the purchase price on a sub 2. So if you want to run the numbers on offline or on your own time for the Air DNA or the short-term rental for this property, I can tell you right now that if it's at least $8,000, the deal works. What about 7,500? So if it'll bring in $7,500 or more as a short-term rental per month, then the deal works as a short-term rental. My only concern is that it's a triplex right now. So are the tenants all on a month-to-month? What's the condition of the property since it's been lived in, and how much work does it need in order to turn it into an Airbnb?
All right.
So you need to take all those things into consideration if you're going to go that route.
Yeah, I didn't think this. Yeah. All righty.
Cool.
I appreciate it, man.
Not a problem. All right. I did not see who was next. So who else has got a question? Just start talking.
Yeah, Sean. Did you mean to send me that 17,836? What is that?
That's not your deal?
No.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, I got the
Okay.
wrong guy,
Okay.
which is why I didn't send the whole address just in case. So you're all good. All right. Who else has got a question?
Yep. Okay. So, firstly, Deal Sniper. I've been trying to access, as you know, I'm out of a laptop, so I've been trying to access the calculator on my phone. Do you know if that's possible to copy and go
This
from
calculator?
there? Yes.
Yeah, you can use this calculator on your cell phone. This is just a Google spreadsheet calculator. So you can use it. You just need to download Google Sheets on your phone.
Yeah, Lahaini. Okay, got you. But I do have a question.
Okay.
So there's another situation. This will be a seller finance.
Okay.
And Blue. I just need to make sure the numbers work. So the
All right,
purchase
give it to me.
price for this, 413.
Okay.
Down payment 29.
Okay.
I think I'm jumping around. I can't see you right now, but it's okay. Taxes is 4603.
What's the seller finance amount?
Oh, shit. Seller finance is 384.
And what'll it rent for?
3,000.
Okay. And you said the taxes was 4603?
4603, yes, sir. I mean, yep.
And then
Insurance,
yeah.
1575.
All right. And what are we giving them monthly?
Monthly would be 13. So 1,300.
Okay. What was your question?
I just need to see the numbers because I haven't had a chance to plug them in. That is amazing. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's real good. You want me to zoom in so you can take a screenshot or something?
I'm way ahead of you, man. I do need you to go back to inputs though.
All right. Let me know when you're ready.
Now,
I guess you can't see it, huh? There you go.
perfect. Thank you.
The only thing I didn't account for was realtor commissions.
Yep, she shouldn't be getting that. I think it's her
And
property, to be honest.
in all honesty, it would be about $12,000 would be max. So if you want to see what that looks like, it doesn't annihilate the deal, but it's not the most attractive thing. But technically, it could work. See if you can.
And
If we have to pay realtor commission, see if we can do $6,000.
are you saying that because of the entry fee? It's a high entry fee?
The entry fee is higher. That what I got to remember. I'm looking at this deal from two sides. One as a wholesaler, and then two as a buyer. So I know that 14% is obviously worse than 11%, which is what it was. But it's still under 14%. So it's still a good deal on paper.
So with it being under 14%, but sitting at 59K entry, that's still reasonable?
The entry fee doesn't matter if the
For
entry
53.
percentage is in range.
Gotcha. Okay.
And if you can see here, like at $6,000 realtor commission, we only went up 1.64%. So that's obviously better. Not saying that it can't work if they want the whole 12 grand. It's just going to be less attractive to an investor. That's all.
Okay. Well, we haven't spoken on it, so I'll start at the 6K and go from there.
Cool.
Thanks, Sean.
You're very welcome. Who's next? Who else has got a question? That's it? A 30-minute meeting? Not even. Yeah, it's about 30 minutes in 2 days or in 2 minutes. Holy fuck, it's been a long day. I'm already starting not to be able to talk. What's going on? Go ahead. What can I do for you?
All right, so I spoke to one of the agents, and he basically said that he would like to. I messaged it in the group chat. He basically said he would like to do like a one-on-one with a buyer, and he's willing to work with me. But he doesn't feel comfortable just like putting the property under contract with just me.
Yeah, then I would move on to another deal and tell him good luck trying to sell the property that's been on market for at least 60 days. You're sitting here throwing him an olive branch and he won't take it. Now, I understand that there are some real estate agents that have had bad experiences with wholesalers, and that can really disrupt working with those real estate agents. But I'm a huge believer in don't make a deal fit. Just go find one that fits. So if a real estate agent if any real estate agent, seller, buyer, whatever, isn't down for the way that we do things, which is the proven right way to do it, just move on. Because you're just going to be spinning your wheels. There's no way for you to protect your financial interest in the property unless it's under contract. And in all honesty, we don't know this realtor. I don't trust it. I don't trust anybody. I'm going to take care of you. I'll work with you. No, put it on paper or get out of my face.
No, that's what he said. He said that basically he'd like to work one-on-one with a buyer, and I also be in it. Like, he's willing to work with me, but he would like to know that there's a for sure buyer for the property before anything.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Yeah, just tell them, hey, thanks, but no thanks. I'm just gonna offer on your neighbor's property and just buy their house from them.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, who else has got a question?
All right, I got one.
What's up, Demarcus? No,
Okay.
that wasn't Demarcus. It was DJ. What's up, DJ? Sorry, I saw his thing light up right when you started talking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got one too.
Okay, I thought I was tripping. DJ first, then
Yeah,
Demarcus.
go
Go ahead,
Demar-
DJ.
Oh no, Demarcus go first. I'll go after.
You sure?
Yeah, it's all good.
All right,
I don't,
Demarcus, what's up?
I don't have a specific question. I just wanted to see if you can show us on Deal Sniper how to see if it's a good deal or not for the buyer, like a cash on cash return.
So Deal Sniper itself does not tell you that.
Okay.
I mean, it does, but the numbers are always going to be a little skewed compared to what they should be if you're
Okay.
using the deal machine calculator. So for this one here, right, for example, these numbers or the cleaned up version of these numbers, as long as I don't change it too much, will always give you Deal Sniper will always give you a fantastic deal. If you can get it under the terms that Deal Sniper says, it'll always be a movable deal. So much so that I can use this one for an example. So we got a purchase price of $225,000. I know it said some stuff, but I would have cleaned up the numbers anyway, so it doesn't matter. Actually, let me just clean it up now. Better keep it even. All right. And then this would be 15,000, and then this would be 600. Okay. So there are my clean numbers. So loan amount, seller finance amount, $210,000, and the down payment is $15,000. So let's go back to here. What did I say? $210,000. Down payment was $15,000. What do we have for rent? 1571. Okay, and then the seller finance, I believe the taxes was like 2,600. I think this was like 650. I don't know. Let's look. No, 600, 2,600, 861. Okay. So this is 600. This is 651. So here's what Deal Sniper gave me directly. Granted, I cleaned up the numbers, a little bit. I rounded everything off. But as you can see, we got a 12.6% entry fee percentage, and then we've got an 18.76 cash on cash return. So Deal Sniper will, whatever numbers it generates, within reason of you cleaning them up, obviously, will always give you a movable deal. Always.
Okay.
So you don't really have to underwrite the deal that Deal Sniper gives you. What you need to do is underwrite the deal using the deal machine calculator when a real estate agent responds positively to your offer. Because then you can figure out what's the most I can go on the monthly payment, what's the most I can go on the down payment. You want to use the deal machine calculator for that. Here's another thing. Deal Sniper does not know how to underwrite hybrid deals. So if I put, yes, they have a mortgage, notice it's only asking me for the mortgage balance. It's not asking me for the seller finance amount. It's not asking me for any of that. So you need to make sure that you're using the deal machine calculator for all underwriting, all of it.
Oh, okay. Well, I appreciate it, Sean.
Not a problem. All right. Who else has got a question?
I got one.
What's up, dude?
All right. So here's what my thing is about. So I have a property right here. I'm gonna show you actually.
Well, don't
It's
show me the numbers because it's going to go on YouTube and I don't want someone to steal your deal. So you can just give me the numbers. I don't need the address.
yeah, okay. So this is gonna be a seller finance deal. I hope it is, but I'll tell you right now, it's 209,000.
Okay.
The seller finance is 194,370. So just say 195 actually. Sorry. That'd be easier.
Okay.
And then let's see, what do you need? Interest rate 0.
Down payment.
The down payment. It says here 14,630, but aren't we supposed to add the assignment fee with it? So it'll be like 20,900? Oh, okay.
No, you just straight $15,000, and then this we're actually going to make 210.
Okay. Let's see what else.
What'll it rent for? The estimated rent?
654.
$654.
Yes, monthly rent. Oh wait, sorry,
Okay.
monthly rent. Sorry, 1520. Sorry,
Oh,
1520.
all right. I was going to say
Yeah,
that's
sorry. That was the monthly
that's all
payment.
good. Okay. What are the taxes and the insurance?
The taxes is 2550,
The
and the
insurance.
insurance is 798.
Okay. And then what did you say the monthly payment was? 650.
654.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was your question?
My question is, I need to know that if this was a, a good deal because the and also what I need to ask the realtor because the last time you and I spoke, we needed to add the balloon payment, the terms, the amortization, 20 to 25 years, I believe, stuff like that. So I just wanted to know if this was a good deal.
It's a good deal if you can get it on these terms. Absolutely. So right now, according to these numbers, you're at a 13.3 entry fee percentage, and you're at a 14% cash on cash return. Your maximum here is 15 to 20%, and your minimum here is 10%. So yeah, this is a great deal if you can get it under these terms.
Oh, okay. But for the balloon payment and amortization, because when I make the on Deal Sniper, I just copy that and I just change the realtor's name and then the best regards by my name and then my phone number, and then
Mm-hmm.
they email me and they say like, you know, like this isn't enough information. This is not enough. Like I need the EMD. I need the balloon payment. I need the all that stuff. So. That's the
So
thing now.
anytime a real estate agent says that this email is not enough and they want more, all that means is they want their contract.
Oh, they're under contract?
No, that they want the contract.
Oh, they want the contract. Okay.
Yeah. So what you need to do, go to Discord, go to the education channel. Hold on. If you go to the Deal Sniper Discord and go under forms on the
Okay.
left towards the bottom, you'll
Yep.
see cash and seller finance contract. You'll see subject to and hybrid contract. You'll see assignment and JV contracts, the deal tracking spreadsheet. So in this situation, because they didn't say there was a mortgage, all you're going to do is go to the cash and seller finance contract channel. When you go to that channel, there's only going to be two things in there. One is going to be a YouTube video showing you how to fill the contract out step by step. And the other link will be to download the seller finance contract. So you download the seller finance contract, watch the video. It'll literally show you step by step, box per box, what to put there. And then you just email it to the realtor once you sign it. And that's your offer.
Okay, that works. And this
The only
can.
other thing that I would do in your situation, just because they mentioned it, you see this
Mhm.
sentence right here where it says term length and it's got years and months?
Yeah.
At the end of what was your purchase price again? Hold on.
The purchase price was 209.
210? 210?
210.
So at the end of this here, at the end of this sentence, right after the word months, put the word balloon, 10 to 12 years. Just put 10 hyphen 12 years
Okay.
in the contract. Because this will make sense to you once you see it. But once you watch the video, it's basically going to tell you that in the additional terms section, you want to copy this here and just paste it.
Mhm.
Those are the terms. So at the end of this part, that's where you're going to put the balloon, 10 to 12 years. And then
All right.
email it to the realtor as an attachment. They'll hit you
Okay.
up in a couple of days and let you know what's going to happen.
Awesome. And sorry, the last thing I'm gonna ask is the inspection and closing costs. So the inspection period, it's gonna be 10 days, I
It
assume.
should be ideally, we wanted 14 business days. Whatever you pick, whatever number needs to be business days. And the minimum especially if you want my team to help you dispo the deal, is 5 business days for the inspection. But ideally, we want 14.
Yeah, because they're asking for like 3. They're like, can
Yeah,
you do
that's not going to
3?
work. No,
Yeah.
absolutely
Okay.
not. And here's the thing, when it comes to properties that, because I'm assuming you're following the rest of the protocol, right? This property has been listed for a while.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So for all of you guys who are new, when a property's been listed for a while and they're entertaining your offer, or they want, yeah, send me the contract, I've got some questions, you guys are in charge. They need you. The real estate agent is on the hook for selling this property. It's never a good look when a real estate agent can't sell a property. So if you're dealing with a property that's been on market for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, whatever, you're not the order taker. They are.
Mhm.
So can we do a 3-month or 3-year balloon? No, we can't. For this purchase price, we're looking at 10 to 12, minimum of 7. I can
Mhm.
get it down to 7, but that's about it. That's your response, and that should be your mentality. Like,
Okay.
hey, I'm helping you out. Like, it's not the other way around. I'm literally
Yeah.
about to do your job, Mr. and Mrs. Realtor. You were supposed to find a buyer. I'm going to do it. So you don't get to dictate the terms.
All right. Thank you. And then the closing costs, do I just say covered by buyer or
Yep. Covered by buyer. And it says it in the contract already.
and
All
they
closing costs covered by the buyer.
and they EMD, what is your typical
If it's off
the
market, I put $500. If it's on market, I put about $1,000. But just remember, it doesn't really matter what number you put there. You're not paying it. The buyer's going to pay it.
Oh, that's part of the okay, okay. I
Yeah,
understand.
the buyer's going to pay
Well,
that.
all right. Well, thank you, Sean. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Amber, what's up? Or did you have another question?
Yep, one
What's going on?
more for seller finance. Okay,
No, it's all good.
so my numbers are purchase price 396,
Okay.
down payment 28K,
Okay.
the rent is 3K.
What's the seller
My
finance amount?
368.
What's the rent? Or I'm sorry, not the rent. The taxes and insurance?
Taxes. Oh my God, 4,700.
Damn.
Yeah, it's more
Okay.
like 4678, but
We'll do 47. Might as well go worst case scenario. What's the insurance?
1512.
Okay. And what's the monthly?
1100. Or I'm sorry, 13.
Yeah, deal works.
Oh wait,
No HOA?
No, not at all. Okay,
Feel
yeah, I
better?
had to come back to the screen. Yeah, thank you. Perfect.
No problem.
Screenshot it. And you remember like everything from each person. That's amazing.
I have to.
Yeah, you're those 6 people that you have in your head, they hey, shout out to them.
We work efficiently. No one can say
Yeah,
that we don't.
that's awesome. Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Who else has got a question? Going once, going twice. That going once, going twice thing.
I do.
Annoying. What's up?
I haven't used this spreadsheet probably like once or twice, but every time we go on there, when we're using this seller finance section, we have to take all the numbers out, the whole thing, right?
I mean, you can just, like here, you can just put the cursor on the box and just start typing if you want to. Or you can go in there and delete every single number, but that's not necessary. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. So what's the real reason to use this section to see if the cash on cash return makes sense?
If you're well, here's the thing. So wholesaling has 2 sides. To be a successful wholesaler, you need to be good at acquisitions. That's getting the deal under contract. And then you need to be good at disposition. That means selling the deal to an investor. So if you're getting a deal under contract, in order to sell it to an investor, you need to know what these numbers are, because that's how you're going to convey to the investor that's a good deal. So it's always a good idea to get familiar and get acclimated with the contract if you're going to be a successful wholesaler, because you're going to have to know how to tell a buyer or an investor why your deal is a good deal. And this calculator will tell you that. It'll tell you what your entry
Okay.
fee percentage is. It'll tell you what your cash on cash return is, which is what buy and hold investors usually care about the most.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. Thank you.
Not a problem. Anybody else?
I hate to be a stickler. Can I get another question?
Yeah, I'm on here until you guys don't need me anymore. So
All right. Can you like go over your pitch with the buyer with the example that you have already inputted in, like how you be able to tell us a good deal, whatnot?
what do you mean by pitch to the buyer?
Like you said, you have to be able to explain why your deal is a good deal and whatnot. And then your previous page had numbers already previously in it, or if you got an example, you can come off the top of your head. You know, I just want to understand it a little bit better.
Yeah. So when you're pushing the deal to an investor, I think that was right. Yeah, I think that was right. When you're pushing the deal to an investor, you're dealing with, do you have wholesaling experience, or are you coming in brand new?
I'm coming in brand new.
Okay.
I've studied, but I've never dipped my toe in the water, so to speak.
Okay, no problem. So when you're dealing with an investor, you're dealing with usually one of two types of investors: a flipper or a buy and hold. A flipper, that's a cash deal buyer. All they want to know is what's the cheapest they can get the property for, how much work does it need, and what can they sell it for after they do the work so they can calculate their profit.
Okay.
A buy and hold investor, they're not selling the property anytime soon, if at all, ever.
Okay.
They're going to buy it, they're going to hold it, and they care about this number right there. How much money is this property going to make me every single year?
Makes sense.
So that's what the cash on cash return is.
Okay.
So the cash on cash return basically tells you how much money you're going to make and how fast off of this asset.
Okay.
So when I'm talking to an investor, and keep in mind, I'm using my dispo materials as well. And if you haven't seen that video yet, DM me when this is over and I'll shoot you the link to the video. But when it comes to dispositioning a deal, it's pretty simple, but it just like wholesaling is simple, but it takes a lot of stuff that you got to do in order to make it work. Dispositioning a deal is very simple, but it takes a lot of stuff to get the deal to work. And the majority of that stuff is your disposition material. And that's just to get the person interested. And the disposition material is just a fancy way of saying it's a flyer.
Okay.
You're going to build a flyer that's going to outline all the benefits of your property. It's going to point out any issues with the property as well. You want to be honest, but it's basically going to say, check it out, investors. I've got this property in wherever, Birmingham. It's got a 29% cash on cash return. The entry fee is only $29,400. If you want this property, total purchase price is $220,000. It's on a seller finance deal. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,400 square feet. Doesn't need any rehab. Yada yada yada. Whatever.
Right.
That's what the flyer looks like.
Okay.
So then the only people that'll ever reach out to you once they see that flyer are the people who are interested. So you'll never have a cash buyer reach out to you over a seller finance deal. So when a cash buyer reaches out, I don't talk that much. I let them ask me whatever questions they want, and then I just answer. Because every buyer's issue matrix or business practices are going to be different. So my thing when I get on the phone with the buyer is, hey, yeah, I saw you were looking at 123 Main Street. What questions can I answer for you? That's it.
Okay.
And then I let them ask me whatever questions they have. I answer them. And then that buyers are going to make their own. You can't, let me say this again. You can sell, quote unquote, sell a buyer, but math is math. You don't have to sell anything with math. The only thing you have to worry about with a buyer is, are they running their numbers the exact same way you ran yours or close to it? Are they going to get a close outcome of the interpretation of the numbers as you did? If so, and they're interested, you got a done deal.
Okay. Say I hypothetically get a deal in the works and I have any questions, can I just DM you for it or just ask you in the Discord for a little help or guidance?
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I'm here. You can hit me in the main chat. You can hit me in DM. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'm in Discord like 15, 16 hours a day.
Right. You've already helped me a couple times, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem. All right. Who's next?
I have another question.
Go for it.
So when we're talking about we're talking to buyers, we're not really talking to the buyers. We're talking to the realtors. I noticed a lot of people are saying when we're talking to the buyers or the investors, not unless we're going behind the realtors back and calling the are we allowed to actually call the seller directly?
No, what we're referring to when we say talk to the buyers, we mean the investor that's going to buy the deal.
Oh, okay.
Once you have it under contract.
I mean, I'm sorry. When we pitch the seller financing to the realtor, we're not allowed to actually go directly to the seller, right?
I mean, you shouldn't. That's kind of bummy for you to do that. I'm a huge proponent of we should be working with real estate agents, not against them. We should be on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
So I always suggest just go through the realtor. And if you really don't want to go through the realtor, if a realtor is just being difficult to work with, wait a couple of weeks, skip trace the seller's information from the address and then call them directly. Or ideally, just wait until the listing is removed, meaning the contract expired, and then reach out to the seller directly, because then technically you're not going behind anyone's back.
Are you talking about the expired listings? Are we able to look at the expired listings on Redfin? I thought we can only see that if we have access to the MLS.
No, you can. I'm kind of piggybacking that off of my deal tracking video that I posted, which shows you how to create a spreadsheet to track your deals. So just to give you the short version, it's got the date that you first sent out the email address or the email to the realtor.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically what you do is you just check that property every single month to see if it's still listed. And then if it's still listed a month later, then I follow up with the realtor, or that's what I tell you guys to do. Follow up with the realtor. Hey, I know you weren't interested a month ago, but this shit's still listed. So want to try and take a stab at my offer? And then if it's not listed, then you know that the listing expired. Then you can just skip trace the address and call the seller, because now the realtor's not a part of the deal anymore.
Okay. And my other question is, I had an instance where I was speaking to a realtor, speaking to so many of them, and sometimes what I notice, some of them will ask me, sometimes I don't really understand how to communicate this to them, because they want to know like the details. They ask me, how am I getting paid? How am I getting paid, and how are they getting paid?
Gotcha.
So
go ahead.
So is there like a specific, like are there specific details we should keep out? Or should we
not
directly tell
necessarily.
them that?
So if a real estate agent asks you, hey, how are you getting paid? How am I getting paid? The answer is the exact same. My investor, my buyer, is going to pay me, and my investor or my buyer can also pay you if it's required. So for every single deal that we do, we can, most of the time, sometimes the numbers just don't work, but most of the time, we can build in about 3% of the purchase price in realtor fees. So let me give you an example. Let's say someone's selling their property, they have it listed for $200,000 and they don't have a mortgage. So in that seller's mind and in the realtor's mind who listed that property, hey, when they sell the property, they don't have a mortgage to pay off. So they're going to be sitting on $200,000 cash. Okay, cool. I'm going to charge 3%. That's only $6,000. So a seller doesn't really give a damn about paying $6,000 when they just got a check for $200,000. Now let's make that scenario into a seller finance. Seller finance, our rule is that we can't put down or give the seller more than 10% of the down payment. or I'm sorry, 10% of the purchase price as a down payment. So 10% of $200,000 is only 20 grand. So let's say the seller agrees to it. Okay, yeah, I'll take the 20 grand. That's fine. But now, if we don't step in to help the seller with their closing costs for the realtor, out of that 20 grand cash that they're going to be receiving at closing, they only get to keep like 14,000 because they still have to pay the realtor $6,000. So in those situations, if the real estate agent asks, we will cover up to 3% of the realtor's commission of the purchase price.
So that means they're going to get paid on both ends.
Well, that depends. So it all depends on how you set it up. So if the real estate agent is saying, hey, what about me? You have to find out what they're talking about. Are you talking about what about your commission in regards to the seller? Because the seller was going to be getting $200,000 and now they're only going to be getting 20, and you think that they're going to give you an issue giving you 6? That's one conversation. The second conversation is, or are you talking about representing me or my buyer as the buyer's agent? In either case, regardless of which one, the most that we will pay is 3%. And then a lot of times what you need to do is you need to put that 3% right here. I don't know if you can see my screen or not, but right here. So in this situation, 3% would be $6,300. So if I go to seller finance, as you can see, it's right there for realtor commission, but my entry fee percentage, obviously it goes up because I'm adding more money to the entry fee for the buyer to pay. And then my cash on cash return went from 29.43% to 24.62%. So this deal still works, paying the realtor commission. You just need to double check that before you agree to it using the calculator. And then we don't obviously want to give up 3% commission if we don't have to. And then the other thing is that it's 3% total. We don't care how it's allocated. So going back to that same scenario, $200,000 purchase price, $20,000 down. Oh shit. Now the seller has to pay $6,000 out of the 20 grand that they're going to be getting. That's going to put a big chunk in their money of how much they don't get to keep. Okay, fine. What if we pay 1.5% of that on behalf of the seller? So in a situation like that, the real estate agent didn't ask us to be the buyer's agent. They're not asking us for anything. But it's like, it sucks because now, you're going to do the seller financing offer and the seller, my client, isn't going to be getting all the money that they thought they were going to be getting, and then they have to pay my commission. Then at that point, I would step in and I would say, okay, well, what if I cover half of your commission for the seller? So now the seller only has to give you $3,000 and I'll give you $3,000. So you can do it like that.
That
so
$3,000
just because you
also
have
coming out of your assignment?
No, because we just added it to the contract. Or to the paperwork. So take a look at this really quick. So if I go back to the inputs page, we have a down payment of $15,000 that has to go to the seller at closing, and then we want to make 10, and then we got a realtor commission of $6,300. If I go back to this tab, you see our total entry, or our entry fee is $25,000. That's because of this and this. So $15,000 to the seller, $10,000 to us. Then you have the closing costs, which is going to be about $4,400. Then you have the realtor commission. So it's on top of everything. The realtor commission is on top of our assignment fee and the seller's down payment, always. Does that make sense? Because that was a lot of information. And if you need me to repeat it, I completely understand.
No, it makes sense. Sometimes they kind of throw me off because I'm not sure if they will get paid on both ends, on the buyer end, from my buyer's end, and also from the seller's end. Although have there been instances where they get paid on both sides?
It can, but it doesn't have to. It just depends on what each real estate agent wants. Some real estate agents, all they care about is getting the house sold. They've already got everything worked out with the seller. They're getting their money. They could care less. They don't even bring up being the buyer's agent. Some real estate agents are absolutely about their money. And they're going to yeah, I'm going to represent you as a buyer then. I want my money. And then your response is, okay, but I'm only giving you up to 3%. And then you just factor it into the deal. But in either case, across the board, all deals, cash, creative, doesn't matter. As a wholesaler, You are never going to put down your own EMD, and you are never going to pay realtor commissions. They're never going to come out of your assignment fee. That's what I mean by you're not going to pay them. We are not paying any of this shit on this page. The EMD, the down payment, the closing costs, the realtor commissions, that's all being paid by the buyer. And the only time that that messes you up is if it makes that number too high. If that number starts creeping up really high, above 15%, then you need to tell that real estate agent, hey, I can get this deal done, but you need to come off that commission a little bit. You need to help me out, or we can't get this deal done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Are you sure? Because
So
you sound still confused.
Well, I think I just gotta go back to that one video that you had that talks about going over this. I just gotta look at that video more because I haven't used this sheet that much. Probably like once when I thought I had a deal and I didn't, and I had to use this this sheet.
The more you use the sheet, the easier it'll get. As long as you keep the rules in your head, you should be fine. Don't go more than 10% on the down payment. Don't go more than 3% on realtor commissions, 3% of the purchase price. Don't go higher, too much higher than 15% entry fee, and don't ever go less than 10% cash on cash return. As long as your deal fits those rules, you'll always have a good deal. Always. And anytime you need help, just hit me up in the Discord. That's what everybody else does. And then eventually you'll get that.
Right, thanks.
I'm not worried about it.
Another question: when the agent wants to represent you as a buyer, I remember you said that was okay for them to do that. So does that mean that
you are still not paying that commission? Because remember, we're only paying a total of 3% worth of realtor commissions for the entire deal. The realtor can decide how that's split up. We can either help the seller with their percentage, or you can represent me as the buyer and I'll give you up to 3%. But I'm not going to, and we are not going to have you represent me as the buyer and I'm going to cover the seller's commission. There's no way. That's not going to happen. So if a real estate agent wants to represent you as a buyer, that's fine. But the most you're getting is 3%. And even then, that's a lot as far as I'm concerned. Like real estate agents, they do a lot of work and I respect the good ones. But okay, I'll give you an example. I know I'm going off a little bit of tangent here, but I'll bring it back around, I promise. Let's look at California versus Birmingham. A real estate agent in Birmingham, the typical property is going for about $150,000. They charge 3%, that's $4,500 to do paperwork, market the property, list it, whatever. Now let's move that property to California. Let's move it to Los Angeles, where the purchase price is $700,000 on average. The real estate agent is doing the exact same paperwork, the exact same listing, the exact same everything, but now they're going to be making $21,000? No way. So that's the only issue I have with real estate agents, and again, this is not the real estate agent's fault. It's the nature of the business. But to tie that all back around, if I were doing a property in California and they were trying to charge 3%, which is $21,000, my conversation with them would be, look, this property's been listed for a long time. You have no prospects trying to buy this thing. I'm trying to help you, but you need to come off that commission a little bit. Let's do half. Let's do 10. So now you're at 1.5% or a little more than that. So you can have those conversations with a real estate agent. It just depends on the agent. The agent's going to be the one to dictate if they want the deal closed more or if they want all their money more. And again, anytime you have a question, you can always just hit me up in the Discord, or we can do a one-on-one. Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, thanks.
You're very welcome. But did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Okay. Richard, what's up, dude?
Hey, Sean, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Amazing. So my question is, I did some inputs this morning and I sent some offers, I think 2 offers in total. And then on the third offer, and I want to ask if it's normal or, if it's like maybe a bug from Deal Sniper, but like, for example, if the purchase price and the property is listed at 615, is it normal that the calculator or, the calculation that puts on the purchase price, I remember it put it to 695 from 615 that was listed. And I remember you saying that, pretty much we can offer up to 10% additionally of the listing price. So is that like a normal range? And when you clean the numbers, do you try maybe if it's like a big range like that, you try and lower it a little bit to maybe increase profitability or lower amount of, terms? I was just a little bit confused about that.
No, I don't. And the reason why is, as I said before, Deal Sniper will always give you an equitable deal that you can sell to an investor. Here's why there's always going to be some sort of non-uniformity to how much money it adds to the purchase price, to what they're asking. And the reason for that is very simple. Our offer for the monthly payment to these sellers is at 0% interest. And the way that I like to explain that, because a lot of real estate agents will be, well, why in the hell is it at 0% interest? Well, I have to have my buyers able to cash flow this thing once they put a tenant in there. Otherwise, they have no incentive to buy it, and we have nothing to talk about. So what I did was I calculated about what the interest monetary-wise, what it would have equaled to money-wise on the monthly payment. I kind of figured that throughout the balloon that I'm offering, and then just added it to the purchase price. That's why I offered you $690,000 instead of the $615 you had it listed for. I'm taking the interest, the amount of money you would have made on the interest, and I'm just adding it to the purchase price. So you're still getting it. You're just getting it on the purchase price instead of monthly. That's how I explain it to real estate agents, because if you explain it to them and also preface it with, I have to have it this way, otherwise my investors have no incentive to buy your property and get this thing done. So instead of, you're not missing out on anything, your sellers are not missing out on anything. Whatever monthly interest they would have gotten, however much that would have been as far as dollars and cents, I did some quick math with my computer program and I added that to the purchase price. So they're still getting it. They're just getting it on the purchase price instead of monthly. That's all. And that's how you explain it to them. And usually if you have an agent that either understands or is reasonable, they'll say, oh, that makes sense, because it does.
Awesome. That definitely cleared up some doubts. And does Deal Sniper, can it estimate STR approximates or not yet?
No, it cannot do that, but there is a video coming out tomorrow showing you guys how to use AirDNA to figure out what the STR number is.
Perfect.
And then if you want, DM me tonight and I'll tag you in it.
Perfect. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Victor, what's up?
I feel like this is a dumb question, but I gotta ask it.
I doubt it.
Going back to the beginning where we seller financing with purchase price and seller financing amount, where are we getting that? Like, so purchase price, let's say is the MLS, that's 210. That's correct, right? Now, where is the seller amount coming from? Are we subtracting that from somewhere, or how is that?
Are you using Deal Sniper?
I'm just going off by this example that you're using right now on the screen.
Gotcha.
But is that how is it from Deal Sniper that it gives you that, or?
Yeah, Deal Sniper. So what Deal Sniper does, it will do the calculation that I just said. It'll do the calculation where it'll kind of figure out how much money they would have made had we charged a standard interest rate. Okay, cool. They would have made an extra $100 a year. We're probably going to do an X amount of years term or balloon. Okay, so they would have made this amount of money in interest. So let's say it's 50 grand. So, okay, cool. We'll just add 50 grand to the purchase price. Deal Sniper does all that for you. Then it calculates the down payment. It calculates the seller finance amount. All these numbers here that you're seeing, Deal Sniper generated all of those. Well, with the exception of the assignment fee. That's me. You
All
guys
right.
should be paid for your time. So I think $10,000 per deal is completely fair because wholesaling is hard.
Yeah,
It's easy. It's easy, but it's hard. So yeah, might as well make your money while you're doing it. But did that answer your question? Deal Sniper generates all the numbers.
that is perfect. Yes. And then another question is, I guess because I'm just looking at YouTube, I know a lot of other creative finance people are saying, hey, well, the customer wants more money instead of that 210, like how we see on the paperwork here. Let me give them, 230. What is your view on that by putting more on the purchase price like that?
Well, that's actually what happened here. So every
Uh-huh.
single offer that's put with Deal Sniper, I don't know what it was off the top of my head because this wasn't my deal. But if we're showing a Deal Sniper purchase price of 210, then it was probably listed for like 190, 180.
Oh, okay.
So it's automatically adding money to the purchase price.
Okay, that's perfect. Yep. That's all I needed. Thank you.
Not a problem. Does anybody else have a question? I'm not going to do the going once, going twice thing again. That's
One more question.
Yeah. What's
Going
up?
back to the realtor representing us. When the realtor wants to represent us as a wholesaler, what exactly are they doing for us?
You want me to tell you the truth, or you want me to lie to you?
I just don't understand why some of them wants to
Nothing.
represent me. I just don't get it.
They're not doing anything. It's the money. They're not. All right. So again, I want to be very respectful to any real estate agent that ever listens to any of my recordings, my trainings, or anything that I'll say to their face. A good real estate agent is worth their weight in gold. 100%. My real estate agent that I work with, I've been working with for years. If somebody ever does anything to her, I'm taking them off the planet. That's how valuable she is to me because we work well together. That's the way it should be. Some real estate agents, they just want the money. They see an opportunity to get an extra, 1 to 3% on a deal. They want it.
That's why. Got it.
Yeah. It's, and that's why I said I can give you the cool answer or I can tell you the truth. The truth is, let me put it like this. If you're dealing with a property that's been on market for 90 days, the real estate agent's job is to sell that property fast. So if you're dealing with someone that's got a property that's listed for 90 plus days and their main concern is, are they going to get the buyer's commission? I would be careful. I'm not saying you shouldn't work with them, but you see where their priorities lie. Because if I was a real estate agent with how sensitive I am and how much I don't like to fail, if I had a property listed for 2 months and I haven't sold the thing, I'm taking any offer that'll get these people taken care of. I don't care what I make. I don't care. I want to get these people taken care of. That's my mentality. A lot of real estate agents, they have that same mentality. Some of them don't.
Got it. Okay.
All right. Who else has got? Richard, what's up? You're muted.
Hey, so I'm here. So how do you handle? I think one of the curiosity questions that I've been getting, like some pushback from some agents, is like that the escrow amounts that we're putting are really low. Since we don't have such a big port to put like 5, 10K escrows, like do you usually do escrows like 500, 1,000, or how would you handle like the escrow deposits?
Are you talking about for the taxes and the insurance, or are you talking about the EMD?
No, the EMD.
Oh, EMD is usually $500 to $1,000. I mean, if it's off market, I'll do $500. If it's on market, I'll do $1,000. But remember, you personally, Richard, are not paying the EMD. The EMD is getting put down by the buyer. That's why in all of our contracts, if you guys are using the contracts from the Discord, which you should be, or if you're not, make this change to your contract. Earnest money deposit, EMD, is due on or before the end of the inspection period. Because that way you can take the entire inspection period to find a buyer. Once you find a buyer, you have them put down the EMD. That way, if the buyer doesn't go through and you're past your inspection period, at least you made something on the deal. If your EMD to the seller is $1,500, then you ask the buyer, hey, EMD is $3,000. That way, if they flake out or whatever, you can give the $1,500 to the seller, and then you get to keep $1,500 if you want. Me personally, I'd rather close the deal because I'd rather have 10 grand. But shit happens. So you want to have that protection built in, but you're never putting that down out of your own pocket ever.
Man, I'm gonna need to jump on a 101 to dive deep into that because I've never done anything like that.
Are you in the Discord?
I'm on the Deal Sniper one.
Go to my video library channel.
Wait, hold on. Let me jump on there real quick. On which one?
I don't know where I have it. I think I have it under. I literally think it says video library channel on the left.
Says
it does. It says video library link.
Oh yeah, I see it. Okay.
Click on that.
Okay.
Click on the link. Go to playlists and go to Wholesale 101.
Wholesale 101.
And watch those videos. You don't have to watch them all, but I mean, I would because it's going to answer every question you could possibly have. But watch them until you've got enough of it. And then if any questions come up from that, then yeah, schedule a one-on-one with me. We can do it tomorrow. Okay.
I love that. All right, even better. Thank you.
Not a problem. All right. Who's next? Who else has got a question? I think Victor, you had your hand up, right? Yeah. What's up, Victor?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant to put that hand down.
Oh, okay. No worries. It's all good. All right. So does anyone have any other questions for me? If not, I can let you guys go. Doesn't matter to me. I'm on here until you guys don't need me anymore. Okay, cool. Then we will end this training for tonight. If anyone needs it, this training was recorded, so it'll be uploaded on the YouTube channel. It'll be there tomorrow morning. I will put it in the Discord main chat tomorrow morning. I'll put a link there and I'll just tag everybody. Other than that, you guys have a great night. I'll talk to you later. See ya.